Well, it is that time on a Friday. The computer tells me we're live. Let me do the usual. You folks just enjoy the nice set of tits that's on the screen right now, and I'll look into this. Those who have watched the show before understand that I have to check the audio at the beginning because we've had an issue or two in the past. So let's do this. Do the usual. You folks just enjoy the nice set of tits that's on the screen right now. And looks like I'll look into this. Looks like we are all good. What wonderful news. I can put that off. Turn the ringer down. And now we can do a little live stream. How about it? Just a sec. The big tits, of course, are they're there to catch the eye, to be visually pleasing, but there's so much more than that. They're a reminder that we're beginning the show. They show up at the end of the show as well. They bookend the show. The show is, if you imagine your face in between a nice set of tits, one on either side, just kind of jibbling it around in there. They bookend the show, and they remind me to remind you to check out the social media pages and to like and to share and all of that good bullshit. So if you're watching right now, hit the like button, follow the page, and tell your friends that if they like big tits, they can come here, they can join us on Friday night, and they can enjoy a set of hefty milkers themselves. And of course, you can find me at Mike Montone on YouTube, Facebook.com/The Savage Crew, Twitter at Mike Montone, and at Gary_Moyler, Moyler, on Instagram. So if you're a lover of big tits, be sure to follow those pages and come along for the ride. For those of you less inclined to enjoy large breasts for whatever reason, there is an audio version of this show, the Savage Sack Tap. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, or pretty much wherever the hell you can find a podcast. You can find the Savage Sack Tap. So be sure to check that out. All right. Well, what do you say we tend to the business of the evening? Pregnant chicks, are they hot? Of course not. But that did not stop some weirdo in Australia from trying to bang one. There is good news coming to the subways and more bad news for Chris Cuomo. But the real good news is for you, the listener, because there is a fresh episode of the Savage Sack Tap coming your way. It starts right now.
You're listening to the Savage Sack Tap. It's not a podcast. It's not a half-cast. It's just a quick shot to the balls to help you finish off the week. We're cutting through the bullshit, filling your Friday with rage-fueled logic, and cracking a few jokes along the way. So grab a bag of frozen peas. There's a Savage Sack Tap coming your way.
Smooth, lascivious, salacious, outrageous.
Unfortunately, at the start of the show, we do have to remove the big tits. We're going to need that space. There's going to be stuff going on. So let me clear those jubbos out of here. Say bye-bye, boys. They are nice. That's a nice big set of cans. That sucks to see them go. They'll be back. Don't you worry. Thomas Hager has requested small perkies. Okay, that's fair. I don't discriminate against small perkies. Big. I think big tits preferable, but a set of small perkies on the right chick certainly enjoyable. In any case, I am Mike Montone. This is the Savage Sack Tap. I was at the gym again today, as I'm wont to do. I love to go to the gym. And last week I was complaining about these college guys who were talking about soccer. And the soccer pussies were back again this week. And the one dude was inviting his male companion to come watch him play soccer. And the guy didn't seem really interested. And the guy was really insisting that his buddy come watch him play soccer. And literally, it could not have been a gayer conversation if they had decided to suck each other off. One man begging another to come watch him play soccer in the locker room, no less. Yeah, so that's the latest on those chaps. Another very weird behavior, and this is why I always talk about the gym on here, because it's a place where, for whatever reason, I guess people get tired, or the endorphins, or the pre-workout, or whatever it is. They people act like fucking weirdos at the gym. Twice this week, I noticed guys at the urinal doing this with the cell phone. They're on it. You're at the urinal, and they're fucking looking into their phones, and it's at shoulder height, which is like the perfect height to take a picture of someone else's dick. Like, I understand that if you hold it down here, you're gonna catch some splash. There's, you know, get piss on your fucking phone. But also, this is not, holding it up here is not the solution. Like, with the camera on a downward angle towards the row of urinals next to you. Like, if I see your camera out at the urinal, I assume you're preparing to take a picture of dick. It's just it's a weird place to have a phone out. There's no real need for it. There's absolutely no need that I can think of. A piss lasts. How long do you piss? What, 60 seconds? If you have a shit bladder, if you have like prostate cancer, you're there for 2 minutes. You can go that long without the phone. Nobody is so important. There's no message or app alert or anything like that that is so important that you need to have the phone out while urinating at all, but especially not in a public restroom. That's a very strange behavior. Like, that's really, you're either, I think if you're doing that, you're either just a very self-important asshole, like, where you're just like, I don't give a shit. I don't care if people in here think I might be trying to take pictures of their dicks. That's fine. Like, you've just placed yourself so far above the rest of society that you don't feel that you need to conform to even like the most basic decorum. There's that. Or you're one of these people who is just you've been so hooked by the phone that that's it. That you're not, you're beyond rescuing. Like, you're a full-on phone addict, and the thought that there would be anything wrong from having it. Now, sure, of course it's out at the urinal because it's out everywhere. Those are the two people. And then, of course, there are the guys who actually are trying to take pictures of dicks. I'm sure there are a few of those out there. So yeah, just an interesting microcosm of society there. I wonder what kind I happened upon while at the gym. I'll have to keep a closer eye on this kind of behavior. And if you notice it too, let me know. I can't be the only one noticing this shit. Like, I also notice a lot of guys walking around like hawking loogies, like large amounts of phlegm and just spitting all over the goddamn place. A lot of just strange human behavior. Like, people acting like complete fucking weirdos in public. And usually people who, at their outward appearance, look like they have it somewhat together. Like, they're probably gainfully employed, may have a girlfriend or whatever, but just are actually complete fucking oddballs. So if you notice any of that kind of thing, be it at the gym or wherever the hell else, please share it, because that kind of shit fascinates me. Like the kind of people who rush to get on the elevator with you, just people who don't understand that we're trying to have a society. Anyway, moving on. Kevin Pollak is a cuck. I've taken to checking the comment section in between topics here, so I don't I don't get horribly embarrassed like I did the last time when I went without audio for a good 15. Um, and I believe it was JD Straight Shot said Kevin Pollak is a cuck. And look, far be it for me to prevent anyone from shitting on Kevin Pollak. Speaking of Hollywood, look at that. How's that for a transition? The Super Bowl was last Sunday, and I know that there is nothing you guys want more than to hear post Super Bowl analysis from me about 6 days after the fucking fact, when everybody, every show on the planet did theirs like the day after. But look, I'm a football fan. It happened last week. I gotta at least touch it. Um, I feel like I'm a teenager trying to convince his girlfriend to give him a hand job. You got to at least touch it. Come on, just touch it. Just tug it. You don't have to go until anything comes out. I thought it was a good game. I don't know. I heard people saying it was a boring game. I think that's a very a stupid opinion, frankly. We had lead changes. There were turnovers, big plays on both sides. There were controversial penalties and a controversial non-call on a long touchdown. There were some huge defensive moments. There was that flubbed extra point at the beginning of the game that turned into an interception. There were trick plays. There was like everything that you would want in a Super Bowl. I felt terrible for Joe Burrow because he showed up. If you saw him before the game, he was dressed like some sort of 1970s fucking pimp. And I guess you have to bring. It's weird because part of me would want to have a different outfit, maybe like just some sweat, like a Bengals hoodie or whatever to walk out in case we lost. And also, generally speaking, not wanting to get it. Yeah, after you've played 4 quarters of football, do you really want to get back into a fucking suit? But then there's like the whole, well, if you're bringing the sweats because you don't want to dress like a pimp after losing a game, then are you kind of jinxing yourself? You get into that athlete talk. But yeah, I felt bad for him. He was walking around before the game dressed like a fucking a pimp, and then I guess you got to walk out dressed like that after losing. That's rough. That would just be fucking miserable, doing up the tie and everything. Yeah, no thanks. But yeah, someone called the show that I work for, the James and Samuel show, and said that the game was boring because there were a bunch of 3-and-out series in the second half. Which, if you're not a football fan, 3-and-out is when the offense goes 3 plays, they're unable to get a first down, so they punt the ball away. But it's still an incredibly fast-paced game. Like, this is when people refer to football as boring. Like, even if nobody is scoring and the ball isn't moving, there are still 250-pound men running around a field trying to decapitate each other. Like, the excitement kind of lies in that. Like, I consider the diving catch, the long field goal, or the big kickoff return, shit like that is kind of icing on the cake. Yeah, it makes it better, but at its root, this is still a very exciting game. Like, you don't often get to see just these fucking behemoths running around trying to murder each other on the field every play, and just the entire time is that. Like, even a sport as exciting as the UFC is, you can have, if 2 very skilled fighters are on the ground tangled up, there can be kind of a slow, dull pace to it. But like, football is still at its most boring. It's still world-class athletes of tremendous size and speed trying to inflict physical harm on each other in a very directly violent manner. So I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a boring NFL game. Like, even an NFL game between shit teams is usually pretty good. And then this Super Bowl, again, just had all the trappings of an exciting game. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that fucking take comes from. And the guy that called the show wasn't the only one that thought that. A lot of people have said that, and I frankly think that is an asinine position on that football game. It was you know, a little bit of a little bit of a woke Super Bowl, not like super in your face, but there was definitely, because it's Los Angeles and you expect that, Billie Jean King doing the coin toss, and they have they had the girls football team out there for the coin toss, a very empowering one, and Eminem takes a knee and all of that shit, but none of that was anywhere near as amazing as this little treat. Let me see. I gotta pull it up here. This fucking asshole. I hope you can see it. Is it up there? Yep, there it is. So this guy, Noam Sheber, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. What's his, of course. Oh, he's a labor reporter for the New York Times. Big fucking surprise that this is his tweet on Super Bowl Sunday. Big fucking surprise. Me to 8-year-old. Who do you want to win? The Bengals or the Rams? 8-year-old. What difference does it make? It's not like the winner is going to solve climate change. Super Bowl weekend in the Sheber-Sullivan household got heavy real quick. First of all, the whole hyphenated last name. That, if you know someone with a hyphenated last name, they peg. That's a pegging couple. Now, I can't, of course, go out and say that this guy specifically pegs, but I would say that in the bulk of situations where you come across a guy who has agreed to hyphenate his last name with his wife, it's because he's getting fucked in the ass by his wife with a strap on. I'm not saying that that's the case here. I certainly would not imply that, but I would say that it's incredibly common for men with hyphenated last names to engage in pegging. That is a fetish indicator. In any case, I was reading this, and just what a douchey fucking tweet. Just incredibly douchey, no matter what the situation is. Because normally, a tweet like this, the instant reaction is never happened. That is made the fuck up. However, I am going to say this. He went with 8-year-old in the tweet. And in theory, hear me out here. If you have a kid who spends the first 8 years of his life living under the tutelage of this kind of jackass, and think about, the conversations that are had around the dinner table, the lessons that are taught, the shows that are watched, what's on the TV all the time, the radio, etc. Eventually, some of that messaging is going to come through. And this is not such a complex. And then you combine that with, bet the kid goes to a woke-ass school. Combine it with that he's getting, 40 hours a week. And it is not out of the realm of possibility that this is actually a conversation that was had. Like, I actually think in this situation that this might be real. I almost always say fake, but it does feel like this could be real. But, and this is where it's sort of a kind of a brain teaser, this guy also has the trappings of every kind of person who would post something like this. The thing is, they usually go with like, oh, my 4-year-old or whatever, so that it seems like incredibly profound and innocent. With the 8-year-old, again, it feels like, oh yeah, maybe a brainwashed 8-year-old could say something like that. Maybe he's regurgitating something he heard on, whatever fucking radio station or podcast his parents have on. So I'm curious as to what you guys think about this. Either way, it sounds like the what's he call his house? The Sheber what's his wife's name? Sullivan? Yeah, the Sheber Sullivan house sounds like a terrible fucking place to watch a football game. Probably probably not a whole lot of red meat served at their Super Bowl party, I would think. Probably heavy on the vegan food. Um, if I had to guess, the conversation probably kind of centered around the Dolphins investigation, or like the hiring investigation, how Kaepernick should still be a starting quarterback, and how football should be eliminated at the like high school level and below because of head injuries, and how the entire sport should really be reformed or made illegal. That's the probably what the chatter at the Sheber Sullivan Super Bowl party was like, as they consumed fucking whatever tofu version of pigs in the blanket or wings or whatever just sad miserable snacks were being had. Fucking a tofu buffalo chicken dip. Ugh. Uh, by the way, while we're on it, Colin Kaepernick. The reason Colin Kaepernick isn't starting in the NFL is because he's not a fucking NFL starting quarterback. He's backup material as a player. He could be a backup in the league, I think, but he has made far too much of a circus around himself for a team to want to sign him, and nobody wants a circus around the guy who, because if the starting quarterback gets hurt, the backup quarterback becomes the starting quarterback. You don't want a circus around the fucking quarterback position. The quarterback is supposed to be kind of the rock of the team, the guy who steadies the ship. So you can't have you can't have any kind of situation involving your quarterback. That's just I know it feels unfair and all of that, but the NFL is a league where winning comes first. Literally, the only fucking thing that matters in the league is winning. And having a circus in your locker room does not beget more winning. It very much gets in the way of winning. Football is a sport of preparation, of studying. You spend a lot of time studying the opponent and preparing a game plan. It becomes real hard to do that when there is a circus surrounding your fucking quarterback. So that's the issue. Like, it's not, I don't in theory have a problem with him voicing his fucking opinions, but to think that people are going to be like, yeah, we'll take him is just, it's fucking stupid. Yeah. Anyway, moving on from football. Let me get this jackass's tweet out of the way. There it is. These comment checks are really taking off. Billy can toss my coin anytime she wants. I appreciate that. I'm assuming that means you want her to give you a rim job, JD Straight Shot, which I guess she was a lesbian, right? She is a lesbian, I think. So she's probably got a rather talented tongue. Yeah, absolutely. Fucking yeah, 100%. Billie Jean King would probably be. You've got to figure if you spend a lifetime, developing pussy eating skill, it's got to apply to the butthole as well. So good quality input. We do have apparently good news coming to the subways for once. Eric Adams, the new mayor, has announced a plan to clean up the city's subway by cracking down on rule breaking and preventing people from living on trains and in stations. Finally, fucking finally. No more smoking, no more doing drugs, no more sleeping, no more doing barbecues on the subway system, no more just doing whatever you want, he said. Those days are over. Swipe your Metro card, ride the system, get off at your destination. That's what this administration is saying. I love that this has to be announced. Like the mayor had to hold a fucking press conference to announce that you could no longer shoot heroin or operate a grill on the subway system. Again, just things that are not happening inside of private places, like say fucking Target. You don't see people having a fucking barbecue in Target. If you do heroin in the bathroom in a Target, you get ejected from the fucking the Target. Just absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, it really is. It was turning into it was like a homeless Burning Man on the subway down there. People are having fucking barbecues, camping out, doing drugs, listening to fucking music. It was just what a fucking scene. We know where they are. There's one case where a woman has been living under a staircase for months. It's just not acceptable, he said. That's disgusting. That's not who we are as a city. I mean, it very much is what New York City is as a city. Here's a if I know some of the very few people who watch this show. I don't know if you're from the New York City area. So here's a little taste of what this fucking shit is like. Absolutely disgusting. Just a moment. So this is essentially a homeless camp on a subway car. And this is like super widespread. This picture is not an anomaly. Like this is more the rule than the exception at times. So you mix this in with the death by shoving and the fucking heroin use and the masturbation and the defecation, and it's kind of like about fucking time. I mean, look at this shit. Like they're all spread out. Can you imagine being like a 22-year-old nurse fresh out of fucking school? So you're getting stuck working a shitty shift, not making that much money. So you live kind of far away from where you work, and you're a 110-pound chick, and this is how you have to get to and from work. It's just fucking disgusting. And that it was allowed to go on for so long. Like that's just fucking so fucking gross. It's pure fucking filthy. The mayor, this is great. Adams also said that although the vast majority of homeless people are not dangerous, we have to be honest about the numbers who are a danger to themselves and other. The mayor cited an incident Thursday on an L train in Manhattan where a 22-year-old man was stabbed while breakdancing by an assailant who's believed to be homeless. I'm going to be honest. This is the only one I think should be allowed to stay. I understand stabbing the breakdancer. Anyone could be driven to stab a fucking breakdancer on the subway. No, I don't know why people feel the need to perform on the subway. I don't know what that is. No one wants that. We're trying to get somewhere. We haven't invited you into our lives. This isn't a performance space. The fucking Port Authority. The Port Authority has gone so far as to set up an actual performance stage in the building. They were having a fucking hip hop concert on it a couple weeks ago when I was on my way home, and people were like lined up around it to see it. This is terrible. You shouldn't. Under no circumstances should we be operating under the goal of having people spend more time at the Port Authority. Likewise, we should not have people fucking breakdancing on the subway. I get the stabbing. Showtime, showtime, showtime. They dance, and then they come around asking you for money. Like, why? What are we giving you fucking money for? Because you danced? You interrupted the conversation or whatever the podcast I was listening to, the book I was reading, because you wanted to do a shitty dance? Yeah, you spun around on the bars. Big fucking shit. It's terrible. So, with that being said, we should be judicious in which vagrants we eject from the subway, because that might not even have been a vagrant. That might have just been a regular guy who fucking hates breakdancing. Either way, a service was done to the community, and I think if you do that, you've earned the right to ride the subway, in my opinion. Get this out of here. If you don't get some homeless come on you while riding the subway, you don't get the full experience. It's true. It is absolutely true, Patrick Bateman. Although, if I recall correctly, Bateman usually took a car. He usually didn't have to worry about the subway. He was always being squired about town by a chauffeur. Good for him. Thomas Hager, you're down the shore. You guys are getting hit with the fucking homeless down there too. God damn. I've seen a few around the train station in Belmar and Asbury, but never in like massive amounts. That's unfortunate to hear. Because I'm like hell bent on moving down to the Jersey Shore sooner rather than later. But probably can't imagine that there are as many down there as there are up here, just because of pure population density. But I do remember, if you go to Asbury or if you go to Belmar, around the train station, you get a good amount. In any case, um, speaking of, sorry, I got a little toasted before doing this, and I just read something on the thing and pictured it, and it made me laugh. Speaking of cleaning up trouble, Chris Cuomo could use some help on that end. Yes, from cleaning up the homeless on the subway to cleaning up the mess that the Cuomo brothers have found themselves in. Chris Cuomo fired after CNN learned of alleged sex attack during office lunch, according to a report. So apparently, obviously, yeah, remember was it about a month ago? Yeah, December. The article says here. Chris Cuomo allegedly attacked a female ABC News temp worker when she denied his proposition for sex during a lunch in his office, it was revealed on Tuesday. The accusation was made to CNN lawyers in December, hours after Cuomo was suspended for advising his brother, then Governor Andrew Cuomo, on how to dodge his own sexual harassment accusations, according to the New York Times. The CNN host was fired 4 days later, and I guess the accuser came forward after Cuomo was suspended for helping his brother, and she said that she had long been disgusted by the similarities between the Democrats' accuser's plight and her own. Employment lawyer Deborah Katz reportedly said, "Yeah, let me tell you something. Chris Cuomo, for as much as he tries to pretend that he is not like a hot-headed giddy scumbag, he really is not helping himself escape that reputation." Remember, of course, there was that video that went viral of him getting called Fredo at the beer garden and going ballistic and threatening to kick that guy's ass. And then he he was yelling at somebody riding their bike past his house. He got into a front lawn altercation. If you're getting in multiple reportable altercations, you have a problem of some kind. Most people, like, once you get past like your 20s, when you're going out and getting hammered all the time, and it's just kind of the fabric of your social life. Most people, you shouldn't be getting in altercations. There shouldn't be, after the age, I would, after 30 or so, you want to put an end to the altercations. No one, and Cuomo's 51. There should be no more altercations at 51. I'm 36. I don't anticipate getting into any more altercations. Of course, when I was younger, I was getting hammered going out down the shore, college, Marine Corps, altercations left and right. But those were fueled by high levels of intoxication. Not, in the workplace, in front of my family on the front lawn. Yeah, you don't want to do that. It is going to make people think that you are a hot-headed guinea scumbag, and adding to that reputation is assaulting a woman who has just refused your sexual advances. It doesn't reflect well at all. Cuomo, 51, had invited the young worker to his office for lunch on the pretext of giving her advice on obtaining full-time employment at the network in 2011, according to the report. When the woman arrived, there was no food, and the anchor badgered her for sex. The letter sent to CNN lawyers on December 1st reportedly said. When she declined his advance, he reportedly attacked her, the letter alleged. First of all, if you are going to try to seduce a woman during working hours, during a lunch meeting, and you have millions of dollars at your disposal, spring for lunch. Put a spread out. I don't think, I don't know that come into my office and feast on my cock is the best lunch sex invitation. You have the disposable income. You could probably expense it if you really want to. Put out a nice spread, maybe a little wine, and have a lunch. Make it the greatest fucking lunch in the world. And then, because you're in the workplace, work, not a motel room. Don't even try to make a move. Just be a decent human being while also being powerful, wealthy. Chris Cuomo's in good shape. And eventually there is a good likelihood that this woman will just want to bang you. Just the slightest bit of finesse. Not, how about lunch? Why don't you come to the office and feast on this dick? It just doesn't work quite as well as you would think it would. And also kind of an insecure bitch move of him to it. It says he attacked her. Like physically, like they don't elaborate. I'm not sure. I don't know what the deal is, because in the past, when there's been like sexual violence situations, like what was the old New York AD Schneiderman? Was it him? He got like accused of a bunch of shit. They go into pretty good detail with that shit, but there didn't seem to be any elaboration on what the attack was, but just an insecure bitch move to get violently angry because a woman rejects your advances. I feel like, I mean, you have to be stoic in those situations. I know a guy who got abandoned at a train station in Long Island by his crush, a woman he was madly in love with, and he didn't resort to violence. I mean, he's a little cuck, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Chris Cuomo was right. I think I think Chris and Andrew Cuomo should go to one of those. If you watch it, was it last week that we did it or 2 weeks ago? One of those alpha male retreats to become better versions of themselves, like that guy from Real Housewives. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will deviate briefly. I pulled up the video because I love it so much. And I think we can spare a second. But maybe the Cuomo brothers should go to one of these alpha male retreats where they do this shit.
To get engaged or bring our family together and finally get married and have a life together. I've been here for a week. These are my brothers. These are my bond. These are my brothers. This is my coach, Kevin. These are guys that are very unfamiliar in my life. I love you, and I love our family together. I love our children, and I hope you receive this message well. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for your time. I hope that this hits your heart well and you understand where I'm coming from, and I hope to come home to you and be able to have a chance and opportunity to talk to you and share with you my experience in my life.
You gotta talk from the heart. You go back to your fucking brain. She doesn't want to fucking hear your brain.
I love you. I'm sorry I made mistakes and help.
I'm fucking sorry. I can't. When he says thank you for your time, I fucking lose it. Like that's how you write like an email to a hiring manager at a job that you're not really qualified to get, but you applied anyway. So you give me all, hey, look, thank you for your time. I appreciate you sitting down with me. And this is supposed to be some sort of. This is for those who don't know. Teresa Giudice, she's Giudice is how they pronounce it in the media, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Giudice. But she's a Real Housewife. She was the one they were involved in some sort of financial shady dealings, and her husband got deported. So this is like her new fiance, this guy Luis Ruelas, and this video surfaced of him at a masculinity retreat, atoning for past sins. And it's just fucking hilarious. Like it's as close to gay porn as you can get without any sexual behavior taking place.
Myself back and held my truth inside.
You better fucking
and
feel
worried
her pain.
about other people around me.
Feel her
acknowledgement. I feel your pain. I'm sorry I put you through pain. Thank you for being patient with me.
What do you do if because there are like houses in the background. What do you do if you're walking down the beach and you see this? Like, do you call the police? Are you like, hey, I think there's like a hostage. I don't know if they're gonna drown this guy or bury him in the sand, but you need to get a squad car down. You get the SWAT team.
And seeing the man that I didn't see, that you see, and you saw in me.
What are you gonna do about it?
I'm going to fix this. I'm going to come home and show you and prove to you the best version of myself that I am right now.
She heard that before. What are you going to do?
I'm going to take action as soon as I get home.
You're saying beautiful words. What are you going to do?
I'm going to propose to you and get married.
Those aren't beautiful words, by the way. I'm going to take action. That's not beautiful. That's not just brilliant oratory. That's very basic. I'm going to take action.
If that's okay with you. I love you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to. When I was reading that story, I thought to myself, you know what Chris and Andrew Cuomo need? They need to go to one of these fucking masculinity camps, and they need to be put through this. And then I said, you know what? I need to bring this video needs to be brought back for me and the viewers. That's one of my all-time favorites. That is going to appear and reappear, because that is the greatest fucking thing in the world. I would love, how fucking great would it be to see Chris and Andrew Cuomo make a video like that with his stupid fucking pierced nipples, apologizing for killing all the old people, and Chris apologizing for all of the innocent people that he's physically attacked. he's threatened with violence. It would be so much fun. So it would be tremendous. I think they should. If there's any kind of like legal thing that comes out of this, I hope that they plea it down to having to go on one of these masculinity retreats. Anyway, this is one of my favorite parts of this Chris Cuomo story, by the way. They say as the Me Too thing started to unfold, and that hit the news industry pretty hard. Chris Cuomo contacted his accuser, and Me Too was like 2016 because it happened right after Trump won. I think people they got upset, and that was like the backlash. He contacted his accuser to do a flattering piece about her, about her then employer, according to the article. His outreach was an attempt to test the waters and discourage her from going on the record about his sexual misconduct. Yeah, that's a bit transparent. Huh? That's like around report card time when you become very interested in when the mail is arriving. Like fucking, because you just know the other shoe is about to drop. We are getting a D in physics. We tried to bang the freelance reporter. She said no, so we physically attacked her. Similar things. You haven't given a shit about what's been showing up in the mail for months. Haven't reached out to this broad forever. And all of a sudden, your fucking ears perk up whenever there's a sound at the door, like you're a fucking golden retriever, just waiting for that envelope to come in the mail. Yeah, I don't know how you commit an office sexual assault at a media company, which is because every media company I've ever been to, and I've worked at, shitload, fucking Clear Channel, CBS, Entercom, Sirius, all over the goddamn place. The walls are always like clear glass. Like you can see everything everywhere. Like everything is very open concept, and even up to like the highest levels, like they're very, powerful people at these directors of shit and whatnot who are sitting behind see-through glass doors. So I'd be curious to know what the layout there is. Like he must have his own fucking suite or some shit like that. Cause you can't, like, what are you gonna fuck a chick while people are walking? Deborah from accounts receivable is walking by to the coffee machine. Oh, Chris is really going at it with that woman. Yeah. I'd be curious to know about that. Maybe I should take a tour of. I wonder if you probably can't. It's probably a huge security thing now. I bet there was a time though when you could sign up for like a tour of CNN and they would gladly take you around. Now they won't because they're afraid that some guy's going to show up dressed like a fucking buffalo and take a shit on Don Lemon's desk. But yeah. It's it is what it is. This is who the Cuomos are. Apparently, they are two in shape Italian American men who love to crush pussy. That I understand, but guys, got to do it consensually, fellas. Can't be out there doing whatever the fuck it is you two are up to, allegedly. Anyway. We will, as gross as the behavior of the Cuomo brothers has been, the alleged behavior, I guess we should say, as gross as that has been, this story is what truly grossed me out this week. You see how I did that there? This is Man of the Year helps pregnant Tinder date in labor. The birth bonded us. This labor of love was quite literal and came much sooner than expected when 20-year-old Alyssa Hodges and 25-year-old Max Sylvie matched on Tinder. Hodges was upfront about the fact that she was pregnant, but neither expected Sylvie to help her give birth on their fourth date. I was about 6.5 months pregnant when I went on Tinder, and I clearly stated that on my bio. Hodges, a Brisbane, Australia resident, told Kennedy News. I didn't want to lead anyone on, so I was being open and honest. I wanted them to know what they were getting into right off the bat. Why is a pregnant chick on Tinder? I think that's the story. Uh, once, and I know, well, a woman can do anything and all that fucking bullshit. Though wait, next month, March is, I think, Women's Month. So just get ready for it. There's plenty of shit gonna be getting thrown in your face all over TV and social media and whatnot. Oh, fucking get over it, broads. Uh, why is a pregnant chick on Tinder? Once you get pregnant, everything should be about the baby. You shouldn't be swiping right. Oh, look, there's some fucking asshole holding up a fish, some dickhead with a mirror selfie. Uh, you shouldn't be doing that. Should not be your focus. The focus should be the child growing inside of you, and particularly during what appears to be she was 6.5 months pregnant at the time, which I believe would be early in the third trimester. Really not the time to be fucking around on Tinder, okay? There is something incredibly suspicious going on here. Usually such a disclaimer would turn Sylvie off, but he immediately fancied Hodges despite it. There was something that caught my eye about Alyssa. Normally I wouldn't swipe right on a pregnant girl, but there was just something about her, said the civil servant. This is just, first of all, it's fucking gross. Pregnant chicks are gross. I don't care if your wife is pregnant. She's the love of your life, the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. That's great. I'm sure she is. You wouldn't marry an ugly chick. But while she is pregnant, she's fucking gross. She's fucking bloated. She's got varicose veins, hemorrhoids. They grow their bush out. It's disgusting. And we need to stop telling pregnant women that they're glowing or that they're radiant, or any of this other bullshit we feed them to make up for the fact that they look absolutely awful. Um, and I think part of the reason they look awful during pregnancy is probably an evolutionary thing, because evolution doesn't want you banging pregnant chicks, so it makes them undesirable. So we need to stop telling pregnant women how good they look. They are they're I understand they're a bunch of hormonal pains in the ass. I grasp that. But they are in such a condition in most cases because of their own choosing. So that's that. If you decide to get pregnant, you don't need us walking around reinforcing. You're gonna balloon up when you get pregnant by this point. That's how it goes down. That's part of it. Come back. There's this new trend out there they're talking about, by the way. They're calling it the mom bod. Let me see if I can the mom bod. It was ooh. Yeah, this is hideous. So this is the new thing that they're society. This is society's trying to jam this one down your throats now. This is the mom bod. Postpartum bodies. This is the new fucking thing that they're doing. Instead of just being like, oh yeah, you should stay in shape while you're pregnant. Everyone should keep working out during the pregnancy until the last, possible point. And you can adapt that to the baby and everything. There's certain moves you don't do to protect the baby. And then after you've had the kid, you should go back to working out so that you don't develop one of these fucking mom bods here, and then people have to walk around lying to you, telling you that you look great. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. I think This guy, the guy's name is Max Sylvie. Is that his name? Who started dating this Preggo chick that he swiped right on a Preggo chick. Like, that's really going out of your way to get together with a total stranger. I have to think this guy has some kind of Preggo fetish. There was a kid we went to college with who got exposed for having a Preggo fetish. I guess he just left some open on his computer one day, and someone saw it. So yeah, I think this guy's got he's got a Preggo fetish. The pair hit it off, but Sylvie had to travel frequently for work soon after they met, so they'd only gone on 3 dates when their fourth came up. Hodges was supposed to pick up Sylvie from the airport, but he ended up needing to meet her in the hospital, as that day ended up being the one on which her water broke. Holy shit. She says, on the day I went into labor, I was meant to be picking Max up from the airport as he was coming back from a work trip. That was the plan, but I ended up texting him saying, I'm so sorry, you'll have to get a taxi. I'm going into labor. He hopped into a taxi when he got off the plane and came to the hospital and was there for me. My mom was also there supporting me, but she had a holiday, so she was here and there. Max was there for me through the whole labor and birth. And this is being sold as some sort of beautiful, magical story. It's not. This is a story about a woman who is so unhinged and selfish that she thinks it's okay to schedule a fourth date. That a fourth date is still a relative stranger. That she thought it made sense to schedule a date with a stranger right around the time she's going to deliver. I mean, everyone knows it's 9 months. That's not a fucking surprise. And in the year 2022, they tell you the baby is coming like months out. Like, you can very easily clear your schedule so that there's not accidentally a Tinder date lined up for the day that you're supposed to go into fucking labor. Also, what the fuck is with this family that the mother, she had a holiday, which I believe this is like Australia, so they're talking about that's vacation. She was going on, the daughter's in the hospital trying to push an infant out of her snatch. And she's just like, yeah, but it's non-refundable. We were good with, the flight leaves in a couple hours, so we'll be back though. I mean, he's just being born. He's going to be around for decades. We'll catch up. And instead, you have this weirdo from Tinder with a fucking pregnant fetish, and he spends 4 days hanging around your fucking hospital room stealing your leftover Jello. Yeah, it almost feels like something out of maybe like a 1990s sitcom. Like, she's got the date lined up, and then her water breaks, but the date is that night, and all sorts of shenanigans ensue while she tries to go on the date anyway, and the entire time she's trying to like hold in the fetus. She's playing fucking mini golf, they go rollerblading, maybe an amusement park, and then they're at some romantic dinner that he's lined up at a really fancy French restaurant, and she excuses herself to go to the bathroom, and she's taken forever in there, and he's like, what could, he's Australian. He's like, oh, yeah, what could possibly be wrong? She'd be gone for almost a fortnight. I don't know if Australians say fortnight, but I don't know what all fucking Aussies say. Oh, crikey. Yeah. Oh, she's been in the loo for quite some time. And he goes in and it's just fucking blood all over the place. She's trying to sever the umbilical cord with a nail clipper she had in her purse. Yeah. Horrible. That's I don't know. Maybe it goes down like that. Or maybe it's a new angle for pedos. That could be it. Maybe you meet a pregnant chick, you're real good to her during the end of the pregnancy. You hang around for the first couple years of the kid's life, gradually introduce him to the sight of your penis so that, he's not just 7 years old and you're taking it out all of a sudden, but it's just kind of a little bit every day. The chick steps out of the room, You take your cock out, you show it to the infant, and then he gets older and older and older, and it's just, hey, that's just, what's this guy's name, Max? Oh, that's just Max's dick. Oh, that's always there. That's not a traumatizing sight. I play with it, squeeze. Yeah, and then by his 9th birthday, you're balls deep in the kid's asshole. Yeah, disgusting, absolutely disgusting. So I'm telling you, this fucking guy's up to something. After sharing their story on social media, Hodges said she has been flooded with praise for Sylvie. On TikTok, everybody is asking me if Max has a brother, calling him Man of the Year, and saying we were the cutest little family. It was a great interaction, she said. Does the what are people are asking if he has a brother? Does the weirdo you met on Tinder have a brother who also has a Preggo fetish? This is why when people say that like chicks are fucking idiots, this is what they're talking about. They're not talking about the ones that are like CEOs. They're the ones that are like, hey, I noticed that weirdo you met on the internet is into pregnant chicks. There are other guys like him out there? Does he have friends? He got a brother? This is great. They're talking to Max. These days, there are a lot of unfortunate stories about men who take off when the woman becomes pregnant. Then there's someone who comes in while you're pregnant and is very actively involved in raising the child. It's unheard of. I'm lucky. Oh, that was her talking. Are there a lot of those stories, though? I don't hear a lot of stories about guys running off on babies they've created. Obviously, some guy had to have run out on her, or maybe they broke up because she's just a fucking nut job, and he was just like, yeah, give me weekends with the kid or whatever, and we'll set up a custody arrangement where I'm in his life, but I can't be around this fucking wacko, because obviously this woman is a bit of a lunatic, and I don't think there are that many stories about men who take off when the woman becomes pregnant. Who like Antonio Cromartie is that? That's the only one. Maybe a couple of guys in the NBA. In any case, a word of advice to the ladies out there who hear this story and they think it's romantic. Just hire a fucking babysitter. Hire a nanny. Don't go if you need help with the kids. I know you think this is a cute, adorable story. There's something sinister going on here. I'm fucking telling you. Hire a qualified professional. Don't tie your life and the life of your newborn child to some weirdo you met on the internet who was cool with you being pregnant the first time you got together. Big, massive red flag. Massive. That's really the point that I wanted to make. In any case, all of this talk about pregnant chicks, we need to cleanse our palates, I think. One sec. Let's get these out of here. Let's bring back those. I'll say hello to the comments section. Thomas, I would ravage any of those bitches on the screen right now. Disgusting. Oh my God. More squealing for the feeling, says JD Straight Shot. I don't oppose to banging a thick girl. That I'm not opposed to. But the women in that picture were a different breed. That was not aesthetically pleasing. And I'm a man who likes to eat some pussy. I like to eat a little ass. I like to get in there. I do not trust women who have allowed their bodies to become so unkempt to be working with clean terrain in that region. So I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you fellas. But to each their own. To each their own. Whedon, he agrees. Thank you very much, Patrick Baby. Yeah, horrifying. Yeah, smelling the flaps. Very. Wow. Yeah. Thomas Hager. My dad ran out on my mom when he found out she was Prego with me. Yeah. No, it certainly does happen. But the implication that it's sort of a societal pandemic, incredibly widespread, like just all over the goddamn place. That would sort of, I think, defy the human race. Simply wouldn't have advanced to this point. Evolution would have become interrupted. But yes, I do, of course, acknowledge that is something that does happen. It's still not a good reason to bang pregnant chicks, by the way. No. What else is happening down in the drop a blue chew and unload on that mug? Thomas Hager says you would swipe right on a Prego, but you're only trying to get your dick tickled by the fetus. Okay, well, so like I told you, guys who swipe right on Pregos are doing so for sinister purposes, and Thomas Hager has just confirmed that for us. Well, why does Sam deny his uncle's love? Whedon, that's the question, right? That's one of the great mysteries of our time. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. Dave is a proud man. He's a good man. He's a kind man, and he deserves to be loved. And Dave loves nephews. That's what he wants, and we all hope that someday they will be proud in public together. But yeah, it'll be a long march until we get there. In any case, it is time for us to wrap things up. I have a steak to prepare before I sit down and watch Real Time with Bill Maher. The big tits, of course, on screen. A reminder. A little something to distract yourselves with while I slide through the comments section. And of course, a reminder to tell your friends that this is the show that starts and ends with a big set of tits. You can find the social media pages. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe, and all that bullshit. Mike Montone on YouTube, Facebook.com/The Savage Crew, Twitter @Mike Montone, Instagram @Gary_Moyler, MOYLER. The podcast, The Savage Sack Tap, is available wherever podcasts are downloaded. Spotify, iTunes, all of those fucking places. You know where to find podcasts. You're not idiots. Well, maybe you are if you're spending your Friday night here with me. So many things you'd be doing. But you're here, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We will be back. Should be. I don't understand why we wouldn't be back next Friday. Hopefully, I don't get hit by a bus in the in-between times. But until then, I will leave you with big tits, and we will return with big tits. So fare thee well.